I've always been quite intuitive, but it was something that I kind of pushed down a lot when I was younger. And certainly in my time in the healthcare system, I didn't feel very comfortable to share the things I was feeling or experiencing. But then, yeah, after leaving a relationship that wasn't healthy and making the decision to move away from nursing, I experienced like a sudden Kundalini awakening, and all my gifts came back very, very quickly. And it was a very kind of scary time for me. But being a nurse, I felt very scared to share my experiences for fear of how I'd be judged in the healthcare system. And although I felt desperately kind of in need of support through what I was experiencing, I kind of tried to hide everything that was happening to me. But then, yeah, so it's made me question a lot about the support that's available for people who are going through these experiences. And then after leaving nursing, I actually had some things that happened in my life that meant I had to go back into nursing. So it was really interesting to experience what it was like to have these really heightened intuitive abilities and try and work in the healthcare system. So it just brought up loads of questions for me. Yeah, and it's been a difficult journey. But I know that I was really interested to hear your story because it's kind of similar in lots of ways, but also different and kind of reflects upon a lot of those issues, I think, are different journeys.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. And I didn't, in the sequence of your experience, I didn't realize because you had had that the Kundalini like awakening, as some call it, right? Or like just being flooded with energy and awareness and intuition. And then you pulled back and came back in the system and had to kind of work on how to manage that. And I think so many people don't feel safe to express their gifts within traditional systems. And there's so many reasons for that. And that's coming out more and more and more, right? And I think that's actually
Yeah,
one of the core wounds of our culture is not being able to express our gifts and not being able to be whole and congruent in who we are as a soul and having to
yeah,
kind of compartmentalize things
yeah,
and
definitely.
not be
Yeah,
safe to do that. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I had I mean I had that kind of overwhelming immersion, right, in interdimensional realities for about a year. And the experiences I had really traumatized me and put me in a place where didn't talk about it to a soul. I didn't speak a word of what happened to me for decades because
wow,
I was institutionalized multiple times, not heard, not listened to, met with fear. And it was really traumatizing. This was the 90s, but
wow,
it still happens today. And, having a lot of now decades of experience in the healthcare system, I know that these things are needed in some ways, and I think it's really important to acknowledge that, yeah, these things do keep people safe. Sometimes the
yeah,
medications,
exactly.
the container, but it, that's not where I found my path to wholeness, and it's more the indigenous ceremonies that saved my life. And so, and I think it has to be. I just think we need to acknowledge more the stuff